Chad, don't expect me to push any buttons.
2-minute warning at DKR. Texas is going to get the win. UTEP actually just scores a touchdown. It's about to be 27-10 with an extra point. Texas is leading the game, but it has been a wild, weird, strange game at DKR. It is the post-game show. Shout out to the Lowy Law Firm for, of course, bringing it. Jason Sukamel with me, Chad Hastings here at TC8 Social Austin. That, of course, is Jeff Ketchum. We got Anwar Richardson ready to check in from DKR as well. Wow. Where do we start here, gentlemen? Ketch, you want to start this off?
No, let's go out to Anwar and let him have the first word, since we may not know how long we have Anwar.
Fair enough. Anwar, can you wait a minute? And there he goes. That we may not. We saw him for a second there, and he cut off. Okay. We'll hope Anwar can get back on with us. Now, Ketch, what do you think?
I am a process guy. I care probably more about the process of winning than I do about the winning itself, because I care about the stuff that you find underneath the hood of the car, right? Every action that I watch when this Texas football team plays, I look at and ask, will that action help you win again and again and again? Is it an action that works in a different environment, like if you're on the road or you're against a better team? And I look at Texas, they're going to win today against UTEP. But you got to ask yourself, if this exact same performance were replicated 100 times, would they win all 100 times? If this exact same performance was replicated in Gainesville or in Dallas against Oklahoma, how many times out of 100 does this performance win you those games, let alone Ohio State or Georgia or the ultimate bar by which we're going to judge this team this season? I think if it gets there, I'm a fan of probability, because it tells you more times than not the outcome that you can expect. And the thing that we'll take out of this game, Chad and Jason, is that what we saw from Texas today, that process, not good enough for them to create wins later this season, and games are going to be much, much, much more competitive. I wanted to see Texas take a step forward today and maybe flex a little bit, and that's not what happened. And I actually have more questions about this team today than I did coming into the game, and I had a lot of questions.
Yeah. All right, let's try Anwar here from DKR. Anwar, you hear me? Let's see. Oh. I'm not. Oh, we're not hearing him.
That's what we try to do. We try to do this newfangled technology.
Try to do it, Try to see if we can do it from the field. Yeah, it may not. No, it doesn't look like it's going to work. Doesn't look like it's going to work. We gave it a try. We gave it a shot. I don't think Anwar was.
Anwar, don't get post game. We'll try it again some other time.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Okay. Anwar, you do what you do. It is 27-10 Texas. That looks like it's going to be the final score. Texas will run the clock out. Obviously, feel free to jump in the super chat. We've already got a couple super chats. We'll start to get to those. Jason, let's get your thoughts initially here on what you've seen.
Terrible football team. Terrible offensive football team, I should say. I'm going to post my thoughts here in a minute once the game goes final, but I said, hey, I predicted before the season 10-2, and a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people thought 11-1, 12-0.
Yeah.
I'm recalibrating my expectations. I don't think 10-2 is happening with this team. Not with the way Arch Manning's playing, with the way this offense is. It's inconsistent. The offensive line is inconsistent. The running game's inconsistent. Listen, man, I hate piling on Arch, but he was terrible today. He was just flat out terrible.
Yeah.
And you could tell they have no confidence in him. I feel like Sark lost his confidence in Arch. They were just pounding the rock because didn't have the confidence they could do it in the air. Just not a good football team right now. And Ketch alluded to the teams down the road, starting with in Gainesville in a couple weeks. Those are going to be tricky, man. I mean, Texas is going to drop the way they're playing. They will drop several games. I don't think this is an SEC championship caliber team. And I'm not just even talking about today. I mean, really the first 3 weeks, if we're being honest. I mean, this is not – it'd be different if they had played really well last week and this week they struggled. Like, oh, that was an odd day. But no, this team wasn't overly impressive last week, and they were a bad football team today.
All right, super chats have started to roll in. Let's start with a $9.99 from Jordan. We kind of suck. Buy or sell, we get smoked by OU if we play next week.
I'm buying based on what I've seen.
Well, it's definitely a buy if you say play like that. Catch, you were talking about what happens if that type of performance translates, and you mentioned the two games, Gainesville, Dallas. And that just doesn't work. That performance today does not work in Dallas, to speak specifically to this one. OU'd handle Texas easily and that's not how football works, but if the two teams that showed up today to play Temple and UTEP respectively, that is OU by a lot.
But not just today. I mean, Oklahoma's played well all 3 weeks. And frankly, they've got a sizable quarterback advantage the way the quarterbacks have played in the first 3 weeks. Did Georgia score and win? Georgia won. Wow.
Did they?
Tennessee.
Good grief.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma has a sizable advantage at the quarterback position right now, and they're the better football team. I mean, Texas has a few weeks to get that one figured out, but right now, I can't believe I'm saying this based on the way we were talking about things before the season started, but right now, I'd say if that game was being played next week, Oklahoma would be the favorite.
I think that's probably fair. Thank you all. Thank you for that first super chat. We are off and running there.
What's funny is they wouldn't be in by Vegas. But
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Well, as of today, Texas was still a 10.5-point favorite. So I don't know that such a thing would swing. Maybe try to get your money in on Oklahoma if you really believe that Oklahoma is about to either blow Texas out of the water or at this point, I'm just letting you know what Vegas is telling us based on the events coming in today. Look, Texas is a bad offense right now. They're bad at quarterback. They're bad at running back. They're really bad at wide receiver. I don't know what they have at tight end, but it's not good, really.
And they don't block well at all.
The offensive line's trash. I mean, they struggled to block last week. They struggled to block again this week. They're allowing too much disruption and penetration at the line of scrimmage. If it's 3rd and 3 and Texas is determined to run the football, you can almost set your watch by the defense having somebody knifing through the offensive line and causing disruption on the play. It's a sad thing because the defense is actually playing at a really high level. Like at this point, we're 3 games in and taking for granted that they just don't let people score.
Yep.
But this offense is just bad. It's probably the worst offense in the SEC. I mean, I had to go look, but I've seen some bad teams I've seen like Mississippi State's been low on our power poll rankings and Vanderbilt. This is the worst offense in the SEC. There's no offense in the SEC that's worse at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and offensive line all combined. And it's getting poor coaching. At some point, this is Steve Sarkisian's offense. This is his product. This is his baby. Look, when we had an ugly situation on orangebloods.com this week in the message board disaster known as the Corral, when that happened, when it was over with, my response to everybody on that message board was, it's my fault. I didn't run things tight enough. I should have done better. Ultimately, it's my responsibility. Because when the buck stops with you, you don't get to point fingers at anybody else. Steve Sarkisian's in year number 5. He's on his 4th starting quarterback. None of them have been plus quarterbacks. The last one was the number 1 rated quarterback in the country. He was a failure. Ultimately, at least if the way the NFL judged him matters at all. And Arch Manning is bad at football right now. And his best play is a quarterback run keeper. And that kind of, to me, says everything about what the Texas offense is right now. We are at 25% into the season. And Texas's best play, without question, is Arch Manning on like a quarterback keeper. And that won't get you 9 wins, let alone 11. So Steve Sarkisian's got to get this thing going. This is on him. The quarterback
say
on film. This offensive line is on Kyle Flood, but Sark allowed him to make the decisions, not taking wide receivers in the portal or speed and leaning on bigger guys, despite the fact in your entire career, the only reason why you're at Texas is because you were at Alabama and had a bunch of fast-ass guys. And somewhere along the line, Sark decided we got to get bigger at wide receiver. Because Xavier Worthy was a failure, because Matthew Golden was a failure, because Isaiah Bond was a failure, because 4-3 guys stopped working, apparently. And who is the best player on this Texas offense?
Well, Gooseby probably. You could maybe make a case for Trey Wisner, who hasn't played.
I saw a few plays where 74 did his job, but I didn't think anybody else on the offensive line did. If it's not him, Catch, it's Arch Manning, the running back.
Yeah, no, let me give you some yards per carry by the running backs today. Because Sark might go to the postgame and be, hey, we ran the ball 56 times for 226 yards. And dude, they're running backs. Well, CJ Baxter going out after a carry with what might have been a knee aggravation.
What a crazy way to start.
We talked about all year long about how much you're pushing that guy. Sark brought it up. He got pushed into a role where he had to be the guy. Hated seeing him go out. That left Christian Clark, Jarrett Gibson, James Simon. Christian Clark, 7 carries, 32 yards, averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Guys, that's Hall of Fame shit compared to what I'm about to read you. Jarrett Gibson, 18 carries, 64 yards, 3.6 yards per carry.
Oof.
Hey, James Simon was like, put me in, coach. 17 carries, 67 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. This is not a single run of 15 yards or more by anybody on the team against UTEP. That is after basically the same thing happened in the first 2 games. This is the most slow, basic 3 yards and a Walt Garrison cloud of dust offense in the run game you've ever seen. Like they can't get loose. There has not been a running back run get to the 3rd level of the defense the entire season. Not one time.
Not one running back with a 20-yard run, correct? 18 is still the max?
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's only one run all season.
So what was Arch's rush per carry?
5.7. 9 for 51. Hey, Matthew Caldwell, 1 rush, 14 yards.
Hey, there you go. You got to get it where you can get it. Seriously, I mean, it's an easy thing to say, but that running play with Arch, I mean, they've got to figure out Sark said they had to do it earlier in Columbus. They got to do it a lot. I feel bad for Arch saying that, but it is their best run play by a mile.
Texas didn't have a wide receiver go beyond 33 yards in this game. Ryan Wingo, I'm just done talking about him. He can go away.
First half, they had 1 pass to a wide receiver that passed to
Livingston.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was the one where Wingo was there and Arch missed him. Right. They tried that one.
A wide receiver caught 1 pass in the first half.
Yes.
Yep.
The Livingston one. The buck stops with Sark, and it's on him. But he did scheme guys open a couple times, and Arch was just nowhere near him. I mean,
it's his quarterback.
Well, exactly. And
whatever happened with Steve Sarkisian in his life, no matter how many kids he has, no matter how many children he saves from a burning building, he could cure cancer. He could drop a bomb on Japan. He's going to be remembered for what happens with Arch Manning. No. It's going to be on his tombstone. Here lies Steve Sarkisian. He did this with the Manning. And right now, he's failing at the biggest task of his life. At
his quarterback development.
He's waited his entire life for. This is in year 3. I think the problem that I have, guys, is that I'm watching quarterbacks all over the country who were young at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
those guys are getting better.
Yeah.
Who the hell's this Aguilar guy from Tennessee?
Right.
Catch circles around Arch Manning today.
Yeah, one of the guys here at the watch party, similar comments. Looking around the country, watching other quarterbacks, has him frustrated about Arch because of that comparison, because of guys like you're talking, Aguilar, Gunnar Stockton today. I mean, those guys put up, 38, 40 points apiece? And they're all over the field. It's crazy.
But Arch was so good last year when he played. Like, did he just have better weapons around him? How has he?
Yeah.
It's so dramatic, the fall off from what we saw last year to what we're seeing this year.
It is crazy.
Malachi Nelson did have a better quarterback rating today than Arch Manning.
Yeah. All right, let's start plowing through some of these super chats. I see 11 of them. We'll start with a 199. William, open up every position, including quarterback. This sucks. William, thank you for jumping in.
Won't happen.
No. JC 999. I think it's time to yell fire. We missed the playoffs this year. This certainly does not feel like
I get one little
right
rant off? Like, can I give you the most snide? It doesn't matter, but it kind of matters.
Okay, sure.
When they went to halftime and Sark did the halftime interview and he chuckled that you're not a quarterback at Texas or a quarterback anywhere until you've been booed off the field.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck was that? Like, you make that joke when the quarterback starts playing well again. You don't do it when your quarterback in the second quarter threw 100 incompletions in a row. Like, it's not funny then.
Right. That was a rough spot. I agree, Catch. That was a rough spot to make that comment. Felt a little weird. And my first thought was, okay, this third quarter better look awesome.
And it wasn't. Like, that's the thing. It's not like it made me wonder if Sark understands the seriousness of what the hell's happening. Because this isn't good enough. This will not win against better teams on the schedule.
No, you're right. That was a weird moment. I think you're absolutely right. Let me grab this one from Oscar, 1999. I'm sorry, but I can't blame Sark for play calling. I can blame him for quarterback development, but Arch can't hit ass right now. Arch is giving Garrett Gilbert run. Giving Garrett Gilbert right now. Is that what the R in it?
Run for his money? I don't know.
He run for his money. He needs to stop riding Lime scooters. Oscar, thank you.
I do agree with Oscar's point, though. I mean, the play calling, listen, wasn't great. But he did scheme some guys open. This is some of these struggles have to be just directly on Arch's shoulders. But 27 points against UTEP. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, it was so ugly. 1999, Barb's 10, our guy here, buy or sell, buy or buy. This postgame show was not what anyone expected 3 weeks ago. Where did the speed go? Still getting lackluster performance from zeros and ones. Barb's 10, yeah.
There was a post on Orange Bloods, and I got sucked into it mid-game. It was like, you guys need better sources. And I'm like, first off, we're the ones who were reporting all camp that the defense was kicking the shit out of the offense. B, it's not just behind, like Sark and players are talking about how great the offense is and how the Arch is going to be fantastic. Excuse me. What were they seeing in practice that made them think that? Because I don't know, man. I said, frankly, I feel like our sources were better than what the coaches were saying.
Here's what I will tell you. We reported Arch Manning didn't have very many big days or any. Go back and look. There was never a single day where we reported the Arch Manning had a badass practice. There was never a scrimmage where he completed a touchdown pass to anybody other than Ryan Wingo. There were no explosive runs in camp that I was ever made aware of. And guess what? We ain't seen them in games either. And guess what? It has been talked about a lot. The offensive line, question mark. Like, these things, like the issue is not that these things haven't been discussed, because they have been. I mean, hell, even the week of the Ohio State game, I was saying Arch Manning will have bad games this season. The question is, when do they occur and whether or not you can survive them when they occur. So don't act like now that said, I have expected big things of this team, but they're not playing good football. And what is Steve Sarkisian doing well as a football coach through 3 games?
Hiring defensive coaches.
I mean, Yeah. So allowing his defense to play. Catch, I said all week he needed to punt and kick field goals more. If he'd done that, he'd had 6 more points today.
I thought you were crazy, but turns out that would have been a good strategy.
I mean, I still don't understand going forward on 4th down as much as they do. I still say this offense needs to be disciplined into not having to worry about 4th down play. They're not good on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Why give them an extra play? I think he needs to punt more. I think he needs to kick more field goals. And I think he needs to trust the only trustable part of his team, the defense. That's what he needs to do. What's he doing well? He puts his defense on the field. He should be doing more of that, way more than he does right now. But that's not what fans want to hear. The best thing he needs to be doing is on the offensive side of the ball. So quarterback power, that's the best thing he's doing on offense, Catch. There's your answer. Call quarterback power. It's the only play that seems to work right now. I see 13 Baker's dozen on the super chats. $4.99. The season's going to be like 22. Horrible offensive performance top to bottom. O-line got better when Robertson was in. Maybe also insert Neto for – I'm assuming that's Sam for State.
I was a little surprised at how much Connor Stroh.
Oh, wow. Or Neto for Stroh. I'm sorry, for ST. It's going to be Stroh there.
Catch said he was surprised how much Connor got in. It's because Hudson got hurt, right?
Yeah, that's true. Hudson was in the 10th. It was in the 10th. That wasn't a choice.
Performance related. It was.
Yeah. All right. We'll grab some super chats here while Catch is dealing with a little technical issue. I know y'all are shocked to know that Catch is dealing with a technical issue. Hopefully we'll get him hard lined pretty quick. I'm also just grabbing.
Did he ever get his hard line put in
process? In process. Trust the process, Jason. Okay. Trust the process. $10 super chat from Patrick. I could easily see an 8-4 season. No confidence in Arch. Made some good throws to Wingo late in the 4th, but nothing convincing. Jason, you talked. Yeah, you talked about resetting your thoughts on the season. This is one of those moments. I wasn't ready to do it till now, but man, I would tell any Texas fan, because I know Texas fans can be a realistic bunch. I would just say whatever your needs were before when you woke up today, might need to change them.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but that's what it felt like watching this game.
You know, I said, I don't know if maybe I'm being too harsh judging. I say one game, but really it's all 3, and maybe we'll feel differently next week. This time, well, a little bit later in the evening next week after they play Sam Houston, maybe Saturday night, we're like, okay, hey, this is what it's supposed to look like. Our confidence is back up. But I'm with Patrick, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't think they'd beat Oklahoma if they played right now. I don't know if they beat A&M. I don't know if they beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's playing good football.
And I'm going to tell you, if this Texas offense, like it's playing, plays this Florida offense like it's playing, that's a mess of a football game. Lagway looks bad. Arch looks bad. Both offenses look bad. Neither really has weapons they can trust. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to think of that game right now. We thought that was going to be such a showcase game, Jason, on October 4th. Yeah. And now I think 13 points might win the damn game. I don't know what to think of that game on October 4th now.
Maybe both quarterbacks just go to power run. But, I mean, bottom line, Patrick, yes, I think you bring up some good points. I mean, easily see an 8-4 season. Absolutely, I can see an 8-4 season. Hell, if they don't improve pretty dramatically from today, they may be lucky to get to 8 wins. So, this was not an 8-4 performance today. So.
No, it got messy real fast. $5 from Michael. The only group that took a step in the right direction was the special teams. Defense was fine. Offense was disgusting. Bomeister with a 58-yard punt. Defense for the effective part of the game kept it to 3. I wish they could have kept the UTEP out of the end zone that last time, but we know there's backups in sometimes late. But this defense can still clamp you down. If you're looking for one thing as a Texas fan, on a serious note, I'm not trying to make you're not trying to make little jokes about quarterback power. This defense should be able to travel. The one thing now, Jason, this is a weird way for Sark to look at it. Forget about make your offense badass. Forget about make your offense super dynamic. He's got to make sure that offense doesn't put the defense in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. That's really the focus, especially when you go on the road in Lexington, at Mississippi State with those cowbells going crazy all over the place. You have got to figure out Dallas. We know what half of that's one of the craziest atmospheres ever with half the stadium. You just don't need to put your defense out on an island. Don't let your offense mess your defense up. And I know that's not how he wants to think about football, but come on.
Yeah, you might have to after today. I mean, they only allowed 259 yards. The defense did 10 points. Only forced was Littleton had the only turnover, right? That was only one turnover.
I think you are right.
0 points off of the turnover. So, you'd like to – I tell you what, let me check something real quick. going into the fourth quarter, Colin Simmons was not even in the stat book as making a single play.
That's crazy.
He did not finish with a single statistic.
That
guys.
is so weird. We're still on that thing, and Barb's 10 threw it in. Everybody who wears 0 and 1, I'm keep bringing this up. They're supposed to be the best guys on the team. I know why DeAndre Moore didn't play today. That one makes sense. Anthony Hill had a couple moments, had a couple plays, but again, the 2 number ones. Wow.
Yeah, Anthony Hill, three tackles for Anthony Hill.
I'm
2
looking
solos, 1 assist, no tackles for loss, no breakups, no quarterback hits.
I'm looking for anything. I'm looking for anything.
And Colin Simmons, no nothing. He had a couple
That's so
hurries,
bad.
I remember. Those don't really, well, I guess I didn't call them official quarterback hurries because they're not listed in the stats, but 0 tackles, 0 statistics from Colin Simmons in this
It
game.
is so bad. Now, somebody's saying there were 2 picks. Did Johnson Lubell get one?
He did. Yes, he did.
Because I know they were throwing balls to him all day, it felt
Wait,
like. Didn't he get one?
You know what? Yeah, but why did I say turnovers? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
2 turnovers for UTEP.
Yeah,
Texas had
okay.
1. Yeah, I was looking at it backwards. Yep.
There you go. All right, so we continue to clean up super chats. Also, I see Mr. Ketchum, I believe, is back with us. Ketch, you back with us? Well, I thought he was.
Well, it's
Now
weird.
I see him over here.
There he
He's
is.
now there he is. There he is.
Catch. I don't know if you heard me, or if you noticed that Colin Simmons did not record a stat in this game. You're muted.
Now we're
We
not
can't
hearing
hear
you, Catch.
something. Yeah, just
Not
I mean,
hearing you.
the defense is fine, and
Yeah.
but Colin Simmons has to be better. Anthony Hill has to be better. 3 tackles for Anthony Hill. So hey, Leon Gulafau again, seven stops, team high 7 tackles for Leon Gulafau.
Oh, he's making plays. Yeah.
Yeah, Jelani had a good game. 6 tackles, 3 solos.
See another guy.
Oh, Jelani had the interception.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry.
Lil-
You're right. Jelani McDonald.
Littleton and Jelani.
Yeah, they good play from the defensive backs. And I'll tell you another guy I see.
Pretty easy interceptions. Oh, by the
They
way.
were, yes, they were. A lot of like kind of like Larry Brown. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up Larry Brown. I'm sorry, not those kind of
I'm taking
interceptions.
this headset
I'm,
off.
I'm
You're going
terribly
solo.
I'm terribly sorry. Terribly. Come on, give me a break. It's almost been 30 years, Jason. It's almost been 30 years as a Cowboys fan. No, but another guy that really is noticeable to me on this defense right now. Let me give love to 91. Ethan Burke's playing his ass off right
Yeah.
now. Ethan Burke to me is a loud defensive player.
5 tackles, one half tackle for loss. But I don't think that tells the story. It seemed like he was involved quite a bit. and
I thought he
around
was,
the ball
yeah.
quite a bit,
Yeah, I thought he was pretty. I'm looking for good things, Texas fans. I'm looking for good things about your team today. $10 from Mark. Thank you, Mark. This is not quarterback play from a guy that's been in the program for 3 years. This is the beginning. Wait, this is beginning to feel like a Manning DEI. Oh, good grief. It's just, the 3 years, I agree. Like the one thing about this team that I didn't see coming, Jason, you could have told me all kinds of things. You could have told me Arch was going to be maybe not as good as some people thought. You could have said he wasn't going to New York. You could say he doesn't win the Heisman. Okay, all that stuff. But the one thing I wasn't prepared for was Arch to play bad.
Yeah.
And I had told fans I thought this was a 3-game parade walk in September. You'd get to celebrate your team. Arch would look good. You'd find out who your weapons were. And through 2 games, if I'm a Texas season ticket holder, I want my money back. I want to know what is going on with my football team through these 2 games that were supposed to be easy.
We did a prize pick show before the season, and I wish Ketch was here because he was the one who said it. And he's like, Arch is going to hit his more touchdown passes. I don't remember what the total. He goes, he's going to hit that or get close to it like before conference play starts. And like now we look
right.
I mean, but listen, I hate to just pile on Arch, but I mean, Arch would probably tell you, bring it on. I deserve it. Because he's such a likable guy, but like how in the hell, I mean, the guy was the Heisman Trophy favorite when the season started. How was everybody so off? And I'm not throwing dirt on him and saying he doesn't have a chance to correct things and be the guy we thought he was going to be, but he's just nowhere near that person right now. And it's just, I can't wrap my head around how far he is away from what was expected of him in the preseason. And listen, some of the preseason expectations were not fair and that was just too much, but shit, he's so far from average right now. It's just bewildering how this offense and that passing attack can be so bad. And he lacks such confidence. He almost had a couple other interceptions today. I mean, let's not forget, he had a couple others that could have been picked off. He's missing very easy passes. He's making bad decisions.
And also just you mentioned the lack of confidence. The offense, to a man, lifeless out there. The body language is bad. It's just so, even the touchdown rush that Arch had on the quarterback draw, that pickup of Arch in the end, it just felt like they were a walkthrough.
You have to do it,
right? It felt like a walkthrough of that celebration. It did not have any life to it. Just crazy. Somebody in the chat says they feel bad that I have to talk about this Texas performance with the Aggies playing. Hey, I'm peeking in. Aggies got a punt blocked for the first touchdown of the game for Notre Dame. Notre Dame looks jacked up to start this game after their off week. It is 7-0 Notre Dame right now in that one. Let's get through 17 super chats and maybe more coming. Thank you guys for throwing us super chats. Trevor with a $4.99. What does Milwee do? What would you say you do here? 2 5-star studs have looked horrible under him. Jason Sark always gets brought up with quarterback development. He's the head coach. The buck does stop with him. And Milwee's part of it too. Like Arch,
he's the quarterback's coach.
Yeah, he is the quarterback's coach, and this particular quarterback.
That's a fair question.
Just does not look great.
Absolutely a fair question. I mean,
yeah,
you could argue that Quinn didn't develop. I'm thinking you could argue it's a fact. Quinn didn't develop the way people thought he did. He didn't live up to expectations. A generational type talent didn't turn out to be that way. Arch Manning, generational type talent. A Manning, blah blah blah. Certainly not living up to the quarterback development we thought we'd expect. AJ Miller's the quarterback's coach. It's a fair argument, fair question.
And hopefully he would say the same thing, right? He'd say, yeah, then it's got to be on me. We got to be better. Let's throw in the little one from Brian. Thank you for that $1.99. Every little bit helps. Sark wasting NIL money. Recruits are watching. It's an interesting way to put it. $10 super chat from Angry Hammer. On a scale of 1 to the plane is going down. Where are we on the panic scale? 1 to 10 on panic. I would definitely push it past 5, 6. Where are you, Jason? 7?
6 or 7 probably.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think this team's – listen, if you told me, hey, this team's going to make the playoffs, play for a national championship, it's okay. I'm not ruling it out. If you told me this team is not going to make the conference championship game, is going to go 7-5, I'm not ruling that out either. So, I would say 6 or 7 is a fair worry meter for me.
It is a messy
situation.
Mario Craver maybe taking one to the house there for the Aggies early on. $4.99 on a super chat from Brandon. Everything we're saying about Texas right now is what we were saying about OU last year. Oh, good grief. Now, I hadn't even thought of it that way. We're not talking about that, are we? We're not talking about a 2-win team in conference, are we?
I don't think so, because Texas has probably the easiest conference schedule of any team
in
the SEC right now. But if we went down the list, who would they be favored against if they're playing, neutral field or whatever? Not many, Chad.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be favored in those. They're going to be favored in the 2 roadies, Kentucky and Mississippi State, and they're going to be favored to beat Florida for sure.
They will be, but I don't know if they should be.
They'll be true. They'll be favored to beat Arkansas.
Florida's up on LSU 3-0 right now.
They'll be favored to beat Vanderbilt at home.
I don't know if they should be. I haven't seen what Vanderbilt did today.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's played some pretty good.
They're about to play South Carolina. They play this evening, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That one's coming up. All right, this is a $5 super chat from Michael. Sark can no longer be called an offensive mastermind or quarterback whisperer. Agree or overreaction? I wouldn't say it loud right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm such a Sark fan as an offensive guy that it's tough for me to admit this, but I'm kind of starting to agree, Michael.
I am too.
Before Sark got hired, I was like, that's who they need to hire. They need a young, innovative offensive guy. I was thrilled when it happened. I thought this guy's going to be amazing. He has been amazing. But the offensive mastermind and quarterback whisperer, that label's starting to lose some of its shine.
Got to be better. Yeah, just got to be better. I'm assuming that's what he'll say in the postgame to the media. Evan for $4.99. Sark is bad. Quinn looks similar to his first year and his last years, and Arch regressed. That is, I think the capital letters might even be warranted. I'm not usually a fan of the capital letters, but I think that might be warranted on that one. $5 from Josh. Catch, please watch the language. My 6 and 8-year-olds are listening. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's what happened. Wasn't bad Wi-Fi. Josh just turned Catch off because he didn't like the language. Josh, hey, maybe that was it. We're sorry to the 6 and 8-year-olds if they heard something weird. This is a $2 super chat from Jeremy, just throwing something in the tip jar. We appreciate you for doing that. This likewise a $1.99. What's it going to take to bench Arch? Jared.
That's not even on the table.
For
I don't think right now. I mean,
$1.99.
it would have to be like he'd have to continue to struggle like he did today for multiple more games. They'd have to lose 2, 3, 4 games, I think, before that is a possibility. Do you agree?
For better or worse, this is what you got. I mean, if you're a Texas fan, you got to ride this out. I don't think somebody that was watching with us today tried to make a comparison to, is this going to turn into like a Chris Sims situation? It's like, well, wait a minute. Sims was the other option, and he was the big name, and he was the pedigree guy, and all that kind of stuff. This one feels different to me. I think you got to deal with this one. You're going to have to deal with whatever the growing pains are here that you didn't think you were going to have to deal with. It's going to take a lot. Pick sixes that we don't even want to talk about, and it's going to take way too much.
Yeah, I just don't think that's
for something like that. All right, I think we just saw. There it is. Look at that. Look at the big 50 spot coming in. Thank you, JR. $49.99. Wish this 50 could to go to Chad. You were the only one last week correctly pointing out Sark's stupidity on fourth down turnovers. That makes 7 in 2 games. Alex, Anwar, and Jason all blew it off. Pathetic for them. And you know what?
Texas was 2 for 5 on fourth down. They weren't terrible.
JR, I appreciate it. They did completely blow off my idea of not going for it on fourth down.
Go for it every time.
Jason's the one that
I should be sending money to JR.
And the argument y'all made was it's Sark's DNA. He needs to be himself. He's going to go for it on fourth down and just do that. I told him last week, but I would continue to tell him this week. How are you going to trust anything on this team that's not your defense, your punter, and your field goal kicker?
But that's part of the reason you go for it on fourth down, because you trust your defense so much. And
okay, but don't you want? He talked about how important he thought it was to pin an offense deep in the Ohio State game. Punting is how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward in the middle of the field is not how you do that. I get what you're saying about, I trust you guys to defend this field.
Especially against a team like UTEP.
Let him go defend 95, right? Let him have 95 yards behind him.
Better shot of getting a safety than converting that fourth down and getting points on all.
And they should have created a safety against Ohio State, but they committed their own penalty, and we all, JR, thank you for the $49.99. I will use it wisely. I promise. $9.99. Catch, I'm okay with critiquing Sark, but how do you coach up a 5-star that can't hit 5-yard routes? Yeah. He looks like he hasn't read the playbook. He looks like a linebacker playing quarterback.
The lack of accuracy is hard to fathom. He missed a couple of them were downfield. He had that one to Livingston that should have been a touchdown, but a couple of balls to Wingo, and I'm like, what? Did you and Wingo piss each other off? Like, did you guys get in a fight because you guys are just not meshing at all?
Connection, man.
They got better in the fourth quarter.
Happening?
But his lack of accuracy, I don't know if it's just the pressure, if he's overthinking it, and it just kind of gets a snowball effect. I don't know what's going on, but he's missing throws that we didn't see him miss last year.
Also, little thing, if the announcers are going to keep talking about Arch Manning and is it Parker Livingston that they live together? Is that right? They're roommates. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to stop talking about, these two guys talk a lot and they don't always talk football. Talk football. Talk more football. Stop saying that they don't talk football. That does not make it sound good at all. All right.
The ball is late in the game, and he arched through a little flare to the left. I think it was to Christian Clark, and just airmailed it over his head. You could see Clark.
That was a bad throw.
Even the players are starting to get a little bit frustrated.
Because, one of the things we've talked about through this process is you felt like his deep ball was going to be really good, and that he was going to have to come along with some of the short stuff and intermediate. Frankly, some of the stuff Quinn could do really well.
Yeah, they kind of flip-flop.
But man, I didn't. So I thought we were going to see a couple of things, like the first touchdown to injuries last week, where injuries had to turn a little more than you want him to. Okay, just dial that up, just tweak it up. I thought we were going to see little swings to the running backs that were maybe a little off. You made the running back turn a little bit. You're right. Christian Clark is looking at him like, 16, what is that? Mm-hmm. I don't have a ladder big enough to go get that.
And some of the balls to Wingo were awful. I tell you, the touchdown pass was his best pass of the day, the one to Wingo. And
that had to have something on it, and he did it.
You could just get that sense of relief and excitement from everybody for Wingo. Didn't have a great game, but at least he got in the end zone, and you could just tell his teammates were super excited for him. So who knows? Maybe that late touchdown, maybe that gets those guys jump started a little bit. We'll
yeah. All right. A couple other super chats coming in here. Thank you guys for doing that. Catch is having some technical stuff going on his end. Anwar dealing with the, of course, the Sark press conference and everything. Might hear from Anwar before the end. We'll see. But that usually does take a little while at a home game. So Bill, $4.99. That hurt my eyes. Is Arch nervous, injured, or a secret third thing? Bill, that is what we are trying to figure out.
I would lean nervous of those things, or is he just not what we thought he was? I don't know, but I would lean I think he's nervous. I think he's pressing. I think Notre Dame's about to score a touchdown. I think it's nerves, and I think when he starts off slowly, it just kind of, it's more and more weight gets put on your shoulders, and like, oh, the stress of this thing, and he just isn't playing free and fun, it doesn't seem like. So.
Yeah, looks like Notre Dame and A&M both want to play free and fun.
Yeah.
7 all already, and Notre Dame looks like they're about to make it
Big
14.
plays all over the field.
Yeah, I was going to say long plays, and apparently defense and special teams not showing up for some of these guys. We'll see how that one ends up. Thank you guys for that one. Yeah, I don't know, Bill. I don't know how to answer that one because I've said I wonder if there was a little something before the Ohio State game, whichever rumor you want to believe. But now that feels like the overall, I don't know. I really can't explain it. I would love to tell you that there's a magical answer, but I do not know. $4.99 from ATX Bates. Have you ever seen an offense turn it around midseason that started this badly?
I'm sure there's an example, Bates, but I can't think of one, and missed you out here today, by the way, bud. But usually offenses are pretty much what you see after a few weeks, right? So,
okay, I'll give you 2 guys to think about. Is it possible that when a healthy Trey Wisner comes back,
that helps,
and if you get Mosley in there, now we don't know what that means, right? But you got Mosley out of the transfer portal for a reason,
right?
And if he can turn into something for you, could he be a Matthew Golden type of situation? Hey, no pressure, no pressure in it.
Kind of
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A guy that you're saying, who's the best receiver? I think it's this guy. Is Ryan Wingo about to play the part of Isaiah Bond? And is Mosley out of nowhere going to kind of end up being more of the golden? Like, you know what? Maybe this is the guy. Hell, maybe Parker Livingston is the guy. Yeah. But that would be maybe a way I would answer it, Bates. Maybe it's, and usually those 2 guys can help you.
If an offense really turns it around, it's usually with a quarterback change, right? So I don't think we're going to see that.
No.
But I mean, I think obviously getting Wisner back, he's your best running back for a reason, your number 1 running back for a reason. You're right. The Mosley thing, that's a good point, Chad, that we haven't really thought about. Maybe that guy can bring something, a spark and some reliability to this passing attack.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got him for a reason. Maybe that could be, but it's also, that's a bit, in a way that's a kind of a Hail Mary type of comment because we have no clue what he looks like in this offense. We haven't seen it for 1 second. All right. How about TJ for $1.99 on a super chat? We are the 24 Michigan team.
Last year's Michigan team.
Oof, okay.
I hope not.
The offense looked that ugly. Notre Dame did finish that drive off, by the way, 14-7. All right. $5 from Jeremy. Chad, this team will not win 7 games with Manning. Woo. Caldwell looks way better. Sark wants his job. Things better change and change fast. See, Jeremy's now convinced himself of 2 different things. Arch can't win 7, and Caldwell's better.
Yeah, I mean, Caldwell got in the game today. We didn't throw a pass, so we don't have a whole lot to judge.
Figured it out.
Caldwell on, but Sark's job is not in jeopardy, but people are going to start coming down on him pretty hard if they don't get this thing turned around.
And hey, another thing I was so wrong about, I said, if stuff goes wrong, fans will blame everybody but Arch. He will get a benefit of the doubt. He's their guy. They'll live and die with him. They'll blame everybody else. But quickly, we've gotten to the point where I know there were grumbles in the crowd today. And yes, there were even boos. And Ketch talked about it. Sark mentioning it at the half, I do not think was a good move. It didn't feel right.
Knowing Arch, he'd probably tell you, hell, I would have booed myself if I could. I mean,
yeah, and he probably will. That's probably what he'll say to the media.
But he needs to be much better.
I didn't think 2 games into these 2 games too. It's not like Georgia's coming this year. We knew what the home schedule looked like. If you tell me he gets booed in the UTEP game, I mean, just think about that for a second. Yeah. That's crazy.
And this is I did the matchups, and I'm not shocked that Texas didn't run the ball amazingly well. Okay, this is a UTEP team that had played well against the run, but it is UTEP. You got to remember that. But their secondary, man, they give up big plays and big yards, and for Texas to not be able to put up big passing numbers against this defense, Yeesh, what's going to happen when they play a good defense, a good passing defense?
Yeah. All right. See, $5 for Michael. I feel bad for Chad. Oh, there it is. They're having to talk about this. Sorry, Texas performance instead of watching your Aggies. Michael, got to work, man. Sometimes you got to work. I know what I signed up for. I'm peeking in on the Aggies. I'll keep up. And the way I look at it too, if things go bad for the Aggies and I don't have to focus in on it, that could be good too. Got a punt blocked. I'd have been screaming my head off. Instead, I was talking to y'all. $5 super chat from Horn. Sark owes PK half his salary because he's carrying the team. The defense is the strength.
We
far
knew
and
that
away
coming in. We just didn't know to this degree that there were going to be such a discrepancy between the two sides of the ball. We knew the defense was going to be the better unit.
I think maybe what we're learning is that all those reports out of camp and scrimmages and stuff, the defense was getting undersold.
Probably so.
The defense wasn't getting talked about enough, maybe.
Touchdown Florida, 10-zip.
Okay.
There was the first, coming back on a penalty. There was a first scrimmage, and we had multiple sources, and we said, hey, the defense dominated. And I don't mind saying it. We got some pushback from people inside the program that were like, hey, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Easy on the dominated.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, sorry, but sure seems like it was accurate, and we trust our sourcing. But
yeah, now it feels now like you'd want to go back and really want to. It makes me want to see those scrimmages. What it does, see just how bad it was. $5 from Joey for catch. Been mulling over this. Is Sark like Arteta?
This has to be a soccer question.
Oh, it's a soccer. I'm so sorry, Joey. You throw in a soccer. You know what? I will keep it just in case catch comes back and we can get to that. I feel bad. We are not qualified to answer that one. $9.99 South End Zone Queen. What's up? Wait to read my super chat until catch comes back and Anwar is on. Okay. All right. So we'll wait. We'll hold that off. Tej coming in with a $1.99. Do we start begging for KJ Lacey now?
You can't do that after 3 games, but I mean, listen, we heard all through fall camp, how good KJ looked for a freshman. You're not going to bench Arch Manning for a true freshman, but fans, I'm not surprised fans are calling for it or grumbling a little bit already.
Yeah, there's some grumbling going on, man. Cannot believe he got booed at the UTEP game. $4.99 from Jake. What happened to the O-line recruiting since Banks/DJ class? O-line can't push San Jose State or UTEP. Jake, I would agree with the last part. Jason, that's terrifying. They did have trouble absolutely whipping those two teams at the line of scrimmage, and I didn't think we'd say that.
No. Listen, I'm going to say UTEP's run defense is pretty good. Their best player is probably their defensive tackle, arguably. But it's UTEP. I don't give a crap. You should still be able to. And they did run for 226 yards, but as Ketch said earlier, it was like, okay, it took you 56 carries to get there. So you can't. That's not a recipe that's going to work in SEC play. You're not going to be able to just go out and manhandle teams like you kind of did at times in this one. There were a couple drives where the run game, like, okay, they're just exerting their force here late in the game. But, I mean, the offensive line has to be better. And that's just – it is who it is, man. Those are the guys you've got. I don't know how you suddenly make that group, just overnight a much better unit than it is. This is just – an offensive line that's going to have some growing pains.
No doubt. All right. I see the. Hang on. Got a couple super chats coming in, and we will clean these off before we get out of here. So I got 13 to get to. Let's go 13 here, and I will save those two for South End Zone Queen and Joey.
You need to save that one.
Just in
case.
Must
have a second one, right?
Oh, yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. She just says wait. Okay. So we'll wait for that other one. Arch needs hypnosis, Michael, with a $1.99, looking for a hypnosis. Any ideas can be thrown out. South End Zone Queen.
Nope, that's what she wants to say.
Okay, take the points. Quinn was okay. Wait, hold on.
She wants to save that one.
We'll save that one for later. Okay, Martin with a $5. You can't judge all the quarterbacks and coach by Arch's performance because Sark wants to let us see won't let us see the other quarterbacks. Oh my God, a fan wants to see the other quarterbacks. I mean,
but
what is
it's
happening?
True, but like hell, Martin, I told Chad when we were watching the game, I was like, I don't know that Arch comes out of this game. He might play the whole 4 quarters. It ends up Caldwell comes in for, I guess, 1 series. But how do you pull him? I mean, this wasn't a blowout. He wasn't playing well, so you want to try to get him some rhythm and some confidence. So yeah, it'd be in a perfect world. This game was 56-10, and you got to see a little bit of Caldwell and maybe Lacey and Trey Owens, who we've seen a little bit of course. But the way these games are playing out, I don't know that you're going to have many opportunities for backup quarterbacks to come in there and show us what they can possibly do.
No, yeah, not in a performance like that. 999 from Tej. How do we expect Arch to be accurate and comfortable passing when all we do is run the ball? Get Arch comfortable and warmed up with simple pitch and catch plays early in the game. Tej,
I think they kind of tried to do that
a little bit, but
I mean, that's kind of the chicken or the egg. But this one, all they did is run the ball. Well, it's because Arch was so bad and they could actually run the ball so. So, you know, I don't know that Arch isn't getting work because they're focusing on the run. I think they focused on the run because of Arch's play in this game.
Yeah, and then again,
I mean,
even though you said 200 and whatever yards
like
rushing, I just
14 or 15 passes in the first half, finished with 25. So,
yeah,
it's not like they weren't throwing the ball early in the game. He just missed 10 in a row.
Yeah, Tej, I don't like the way it was set up, and also I'm just so confused. And like Ketch said earlier, we probably should stop talking about Ryan Wingo. This team does not have a go-to number one wide receiver right now. We thought they did. Maybe Livingston becomes that. Maybe Wingo turns back into that because we kind of thought that's what he could be, but they just don't have one. Maybe Mosley is that. I mentioned him earlier. I don't know, but they just don't seem to have a number one option. I did not think we would say that 3 games into the season. Cash with a $5 super chat, just throwing something into the old tip jar. Thank you, Cash.
Wingo did have 7 targets as I look at this. Livingston 3, Jordan Washington 3, Jack Andrews 3, and then running backs. But Wingo had 7 targets. He just only caught 3 passes for 32.
South End Zone Queen, $9.99 super chat. I need Anwar on this show stat. South End Zone Queen, that is hurtful. That is hurtful. I'm going to take that personally. $4.99 from Matthew. I've texted my buddy the exact same thing 3 weeks in a row. Okay, Arch might just be ass.
I didn't say it quite in those words, Matthew, but I think I said a couple times, is Arch not? It's just not very good.
Is he not good?
It's not a 1 week anomaly now. It's happening for long stretches of games in multiple weeks. So it's a legitimate concern and a legitimate question. Is Arch just not that good? I don't know. I'm not throwing the towel. I'm not burying him underground here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a legitimate and a fair question to ask after 3 weeks.
I did not have bad Arch Manning on my bingo card this year. I just didn't have it. That's crazy. All right, $4.99 here from Michael. I paid over $1,000 for 2 swamp tickets, 13th row, 45-yard line, Texas bench. I pray this gets better. Michael, I pray it for you as well. That feels like an ugly game. But Jason just told y'all 10-0 Florida early.
They took it off on a penalty.
Okay, so 3-0 early with Florida. We'll see if they look better. But those 2 offenses feel just stuck in the mud right now. Also, they're both messy. Texas had 12 penalties last week in a home game, and Florida had 11 in that loss to South Florida, plus a guy spit on somebody, plus 2 big drops in the game cost them. Like, they're both just on offense.
Finished, speaking of penalties, 7 for 81 in this game. So not a low number, but not a super high number. They had 2 in the first half.
Yeah.
They were both on special teams penalties, both on Roberson, by the way, but 7 for 81. So they had 5 penalties in the second half.
Yeah, it's good to cut it down. I don't like 7, but it's certainly better than 12. $4.99. That's silver lining stuff right there. Only 7 penalties. Jess, $4.99. Is this the last year Sark doesn't go all in on the portal and get players like Branch from USC? F this development. Go get the for sure player in the future. That's another thing we haven't talked about yet, Jason. All over the country, whether it's receivers or offensive line, I feel like I see guys Texas was in on and thought about over and over and over again that are playing for other teams.
Yeah, I didn't see Branch's stats, but I know I saw him get, it was a 2-point conversion, but I think he had a pretty good game today. So, Texas's best success has been when they've gone and got speed playmakers out of the portal.
Mm-hmm.
They're just having a hard time finding and developing those guys out of the high school ranks. Adonai Mitchell, obviously Bond, Golden. So yeah, not a bad idea. And Branch would have been a wonderful addition to this offense because that dude's electric. But yeah, I think you'll see that happening quite a bit moving forward.
Yep. All right, Jess, thank you very much for that. One more here from Evan, $4.99. Del Conte needs to force an OC hire. Oh, Lord. Sark can't handle both positions. Great recruiter, but not up to the challenge of calling a competent offense. Jason, this one kind of showed up the first couple weeks. Now you've seen it again. I think this would be a total panic move to try it in the middle of a season.
No.
But if this kind of thing continues, I have said that the only way he would do it is if it was forced from above from Del Conte and others. This keeps going in 2026. That discussion may happen.
Well, I'll say this about Sark. He is good about self evaluation, and he doesn't mind making changes, and he doesn't mind admitting, hey, this needs to be better. So I think it's a worthy discussion, but yeah, definitely not in season. Maybe it happens. I mean, he has an offensive coordinator technically. I mean, Kyle Flood is the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But, in terms of like a play caller type person, maybe, but I don't know, man. I think Sark would have a hard time unless he's forced to. He's going to have a hard time letting that go because he's done it his whole career, and that's what he's known for, and that's what he's.
Yeah.
I mean, people call him one of the best 2 or 3 offensive minds in the game. Sometimes you hear that, and so it's going to be tough to do. I think it'd have to be forced. It'd have to be after the season, but I don't expect it to happen.
The only guy I can think of with a sort of a name in college football that called him for a long time and then stopped would have been Gundy. I think he's gone back and forth. I don't know if Sark respects Gundy enough to call him and ask that question. That's the one guy I can think of.
You might get fired. Call him and have him hired for you.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother discussion too. Evan, thank you very much for that. All right, let's we'll travel back through these real quick. South End Zone Queen, I'm sorry. We are apparently not going to get Anwar on the show stat. I apologize. But we did not want to just keep going too much. 499 here. Yeah, take the fucking points. And Quinn was a natty. Quinn wins a natty with this team.
Nah, they don't have the weapons South End Zone Quinn. I don't know about that, man.
Now that's Quinn fan club right there. I like that one.
Last year's team had more weapons and a better offensive line than this team. But hey, this defense is pretty salty.
And also, I'm going to attempt to answer the soccer question. Joey, $5 for catch. Been mulling this over. Is Sark like Arteta? Also, a la Madrid. Arteta. Yeah, it's a good comparison. I like it, Joey. I have no idea who you're talking about. No clue. No clue at all. Let's hear from Specs real quick and Lisa, and then we'll wrap up.
Texans know for selection and lower prices, it all starts at Specs. Shop Specs! With all your favorites on tap, you'll bring home the win. Boots on, drinks up. The fun starts here. Shop Specs!
All right. Thank you guys for jumping in on the chat. We'll squeeze one more in. $5 from Mike. Manning's mechanics suck, right? Milwee. Back to the developmental question here. So
he did have a couple more of the sidearm throws, and they weren't anywhere close to being accurate. So
yeah, a lot of arm angles, and it just didn't seem to work. All right, we've hit this a few different ways. I think we all kind of know what we're looking at. South End Zone Queen jumping back in. Should have gotten Decorian more. Spend money, Sark. Take the GD points. I'm with South End Zone Queen, obviously, on taking the points. But that's another guy, Jason. Oregon's looked good so far. We'll see what happens when they play Penn State in a couple of weeks. But that guy is he jumps off the screen at you. I'm watching, Fasusi block at Oklahoma. I'm watching Pregnon block at Oregon and Decorian Moore playing at Oregon. And I just think about it from a Texas fan perspective, the disappointment that must be. Branch at Georgia already
Texas
got mentioned.
A 5-star receiver. It's not like they're not landing talent. Those guys are slower slower developing. I mean, Decorian Moore is at another level than Jamie French and Kalik Lockett. I mean, it is. That's no slap in the face to those guys. Decorian Moore is just a freakish talent. But dudes like that can be program changers. They can change your offense in a hurry. And that was a tough one for Texas to lose. Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. And Sandman, I see your comment there on Catch and Anwar. Catch dealing with some of the technical stuff. And for Anwar, things get a little longer on home games in terms of Sark, meeting with the media. Obviously, get to orangebloods.com. See that QR code up in the upper left. Join Orange Bloods if you haven't. Get it done. All the content.
You can read about the kid who committed and then didn't commit today. How about that?
Yes. Oh, is that right? He committed but didn't?
Yeah, and then he's like,
really?
that was a misunderstanding. I'm like, okay.
The misunderstanding.
He was supposed to commit yesterday, and then he committed today, but
yeah,
he claimed his agent or whatever representative put it out, and it wasn't him, and so now he walked it back. So technically, Texas didn't get a commitment today.
That's how you know you're a recruiting badass, when you commit and you don't even know you did.
He literally said that.
That's how powerful you are.
He came out of film session. And he goes, "I didn't have my phone for the last 3 hours, and I'm suddenly committed." So it's like, okay.
Man, that's recruiting right there. Now that's recruiting never stops, even when you're in the meeting room. That is unbelievable. Thank you guys for jumping in the chat. Get to orangebloods.com for all the content. Thanks to TCH Social for having us out again. Make your plans, if you dare, to watch Texas play Sam Houston State next Saturday evening. Oh, it'll be packed in here, Jason. 7 o'clock kick, Texas and Sam Houston State. We'll see what that one looks like next week. Look, I can promise you the bad beat bacon is awesome. Outside of that, I cannot promise you the Texas defense, they should be good too. Texas offense, I make no promises. Wow. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, and getting your notifications. Y'all have a great start to your week, and keep it with Orange Bloods Live. Get to orangebloods.com. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the rest of the games this weekend. Texas gets the win. Wins are wins. 27-10 is the final, but there are all kinds of things to think about with this team as they are 2-1 headed to the Sam Houston State game. Good grief. Offense, where are you? Y'all take care. This is Orange Bloods Live. See ya.